One of the beautiful things about college football is that, just when you think you've got it figured out, it has a funny way of reminding you how little you really know. Saturday was another example of how one play, 1 inch, 1 moment can change our perception and negate everything we thought we knew. Heading into Week 3, we all knew that number 4, USC would dominate Texas at the Coliseum. Late in the fourth quarter of the fiasco that was number 23, Tennessee versus number 24, Florida, it was obvious that there was no way a touchdown, an offensive one, at least, would decide the game. And number 12, LSU was going to win its 9th straight over Mississippi State in Starkville. Here's what it looked like when Saturday ended. USC needed 2 overtimes and the first 2 field goals of a true freshman walk-on kicker's career, 1 to force overtime, 1 for the victory. To win, Florida dialed up a Hail Mary to beat Tennessee, and LSU lost by 20 points. It's frustrating to be so wrong about a sport we love so much and think we know so well. But the payoff is in the surprises each week, and that's why we make the emotional investment in college football. And while it can be uncomfortable to admit you're wrong, it helps to keep looking at the entire picture. For starters, can we really put a ton of stock into Florida's frantic finish in the swamp? Sure, quarterback Phillip Franks grew up some in front of our eyes as he went from mostly anemic, along with the rest of Florida's offense and play calling, to super with his perfectly thrown 63-yard strike to a diving Terry Cleveland in the end zone to vanquish the Vols 26-20. "I told Phillip to just give me a chance," Cleveland told ESPN on Saturday. "We weren't going into overtime if he gave me a chance. He threw it on the dot, I ran fast, and he gave me a chance." Frank's prayer was the exact yardage Will Grier, sorry, Gators fans, needed to shock Tennessee 2 years ago, so maybe it's just Tennessee. Or maybe Frank's really is evolving. We don't know. All we know is that Florida shocked us with a miracle touchdown from an offense that failed to complete anything thrown more than 10 yards downfield prior. "He kept his composure," Cleveland said of Franks. "A lot of quarterbacks would have tried to force things or try to make more stuff happen, but he just stayed under control and trusted the process." The Gators, 1-1-1-0 sect, have proven they can win the SEC East under Jim McElwain without registering much of a pulse on his one offense, but it's no secret they still have issues, regardless of this finish. It took a tired Tennessee defense and a terribly defended deep ball to leave the swamp with a win on Saturday. Another team we're not sure about after Saturday is USC. We want to believe that the Trojans are the Pac-12's best hope for a college football playoff berth, but in a game that should have been a blowout, USC needed double overtime to beat Texas. It was a fantastic game, and the Longhorns proved many of us wrong by hanging for 4+ quarters with the Trojans, 3-0-1-0 Pac-12, but USC's inconsistency, especially on offense, is concerning. A week ago, USC dominated a vaunted Stanford defense with more than 300 rushing yards and turned around to register just 71 against a Texas team that let Maryland run for 263 yards 2 weeks ago. Texas appears to be tougher than we thought, but USC is still an enigma. However, USC doesn't play number 6, Washington, or a rising Oregon team in the regular season. The evolution of USC doesn't have to be perfect just yet. One team not evolving is LSU. It was always going to be buyer beware with the Tigers, but Saturday showed us that selling early was the way to go with LSU. Ed Orgeron never won in Starkville as Ole Miss head coach, and he's now 0-1 at LSU. And what a 0 it was. Entering as a 7.5-point favorite, LSU, 2-1, 0-1 sect, was throttled 37-7 as Mississippi State, 3-0-1-0 sect, snapped an 8-game losing streak to the Tigers at home. Even if you picked Mississippi State, you were likely shocked by the outcome. Well, unless you were Mississippi State QB Nick Fitzgerald, who totaled 268 yards of offense and 4 touchdowns. He told ESPN after the win that no one in his locker room was surprised by dismantling LSU. I guess to everyone outside of our facility, we're not supposed to do that, but honestly, if you ask anyone on this football team, or anyone in the program at all, they would have told you that it wasn't going to be an upset by any means," said Fitzgerald, who knew the Bulldogs could exploit LSU in one-on-one situations. "We knew that we could win the ball game, and we knew that we could score points. We knew that we were going to win it. So is LSU much worse than advertised, or is Mississippi State much better?" With Auburn getting pounded and narrowly escaping Mercer, the Bulldogs now become the favorite to challenge Alabama in the SEC West, right?